get set up so we can see the chat here. What about XRP? What about Shiba? What about Dogecoin? So excited. All right. Okay, I am set up. Am I live watching myself? I am. I can see myself on my other monitor. So, Umberto, good to see you again. Mike is on a stand, looks good. Yeah, hey, what's up, you Davidson? So that's for the YouTube peeps. For the TikTok people, it's the lavalier here. Yeah, don't get banned. I might be in trouble. So, World War Bitcoin, my username, obviously. So I'm wondering, Crypto Weatherman, if they're going to send you the same notification. Like, is it just going to be me? Or is it going to be anyone with the words crypto in their name, or blockchain, like Blockchain Boy, or Bitcoin? So, yeah, I would love to not get banned. I do enjoy making TikToks. The platform is really great. So, a good morning Vietnam impression. Good morning Vietnam. What did they say? E. Davidson, they just, what did they say? They want me to change my username. So then I went to change my username and I just put in my name and then like a number, and nothing was available because Alex Costa is a very common name actually. And so it was one of those things where it's like, well, I'm not going to think of a name right now. I'll think of one later. So I canceled it, and then I don't have a notification to change my name. So what did you think of the game yesterday? You know, I do think Italy outplayed England. I watched like the last 10 minutes of regular time, and England scored in those first 2 minutes. I expected Italy to equalize. And then I had to go somewhere, so I couldn't see the end of it. And I don't know. I mean, what do I say? Italy played really well the whole tournament. So, yeah. Are we absolutely sure we know what direction we're going, Robbie? Absolutely not. No idea. I mean, I just have a feeling that it's going to go down with the grayscale unlocks, and a feeling based off of previous things I've researched. So is TikTok banning crypto content creators? Maybe. World War Alex, that's not a bad idea. Crypto Weatherman, let's see, likely won't rebuild if TikTok takes me down. Yeah, and it has been a great experience. I'll probably just keep on working on my YouTube. I really don't know. It's like TikTok has given me the ability to drive traffic to other platforms, and so without TikTok, it's like it'll just go a lot slower. So, Specialist, what's up? Good to see you. Let's see. Italian deserved to win. I was lucky to be there. Oh wow, nice. That's not a bad idea, Alan. That's a really good idea. Yeah, I definitely don't want to lose Crypto Weatherman. You know, honestly, if TikTok banned me, I'd be kind of relieved. I get so much hate. Well, no, honestly, it's like actually I get like 5 times as much love as I get hate, but the hate is like vile. So, good morning or afternoon, evening, Pablo, ZK Pablo. Am I worried about censoring? A little bit. Thank you, Sir Eth. I love you too. A little bit. I mean, you know, they want me to change my username. What's the deal with that? I'd be relieved to. Yeah, it's that one person. Exactly. Yeah, Crypto Weatherman, you know how I feel. I know how you feel. Hate will always be there. The mosquitoes, yeah, good call, Specialist. Oh, yeah, World War Costa. That's a good point. That's a good call, Umberto. Maybe I'll do World War Costa. Yeah, Alan, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, scam coin promotion ban. And it's really frustrating for me because, like, I've gotten tons of offers. Tons of offers. I could have made tens of thousands of dollars to promote those scam coins. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I was tempted. Like, they were offering me well over $1,000 to promote their coins. Random Chad token, whatever. And I was like, no. You know, I'm not going to do that. So, original account is banned. Yeah, Crypto Husser. Get it covered. Yeah, not a bad idea, Sambo. Like, I honestly could have promoted enough cryptocurrencies that I could have, like, bought a house. I would have made 6 figures easy. Pablo, I'm sure, made 6 figures. XRP predictions, Big Boy telling us $30. I disagree with that, Dynasty. Nope. I mean, I don't think the SEC suit is going to be over by the end of 2021, so I very strongly disagree with him. Cost $1 average, it's funny. I am live on YouTube, by the way, and I have this awesome microphone now, and so maybe it's an even better viewing experience on YouTube than it was before. Might want to check out World War Bitcoin on YouTube, especially because who knows, maybe I'll get banned. Yeah, Umberto, I know about Costa in the UK. Yeah. Evil D, that's what I stated. Thank you so much, Evil. Yeah. Dollar Costa average. Yeah, I would have been tempted if you were in my position, totally. Everyone is angry these days, crazy, too many evil people in the world, all these scam coins hurting, whatever you were going to say after that. I know there's a comment limit. I'm totally with you, MJ. And they would have to pay me for the name. Thoughts on SEC going after Doge, Cardano, Dot. Thank you to whoever subscribed to my YouTube channel, by the way. Thank you. It's awesome on YouTube. Awesome. Sounding like a pro. Well, on YouTube I am. Actually, so I just have this little lavalier mic for TikTok, but on YouTube I think it might actually be better. So I do have this new microphone on YouTube. Why will? All right, thoughts on SEC going after Doge, Cardano, Dot, and Uniswap? I haven't heard anything about that, so that would be a bummer. XRP will most likely rally if we ever see an alt rally anytime soon. I don't think we're going to see an alt rally anytime soon. Why will you get banned? They want me to change my username, so I don't know. You know, what are they doing? Took a position on Theta at 5.9. Should a dollar cost average now or wait a little more? I would say wait a little more. Cost of living, nice. Yeah, thank you, MJ. Really appreciate that. Safe Moon's going to be flat for a while. 3 or 4 months, something like that. XRP court's done with the Warren deadline. Oh, well, all right, so I forgot about the Elizabeth Warren deadline. I don't know how legit that is. Thank you for the gift, Crypto Husser. But if that were to end the SEC suit, that would be great. Both lives now, awesome. XRP end of September to explode. I hope so. Yeah, that'd be great. Something about ICO. Oh, cracking down on ICOs? Because you know, in general, for the meme coins at least, I'd be okay with that. Jesus hates you for betraying Safe Moon. That's funny. Yeah, it is my favorite coin. Totally. That's sarcasm. When do we expect Bitcoin to rise again after this dips? That's coming. Check out my most recent TikTok. Second most recent TikTok on the unlocks with Grayscale. I just think it's going to be rocky until we clear those hurdles. And then perhaps after that, it'll go higher. So how true is it that crypto will be banned from TikTok? I don't know. I mean, all I know is they want me to change my username. So what's up with that? Still no. Oh, man. Am I unmuted now? Can you hear me on YouTube? Give me 1 second. Patience, Alan, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, it could be longer. Hello, YouTube. Oh man. El sonido está muerto. Sorry, I really need to work on something for my YouTube live stream right now. Thank you. Right, testing. Can you hear me on YouTube? Can you hear me on YouTube? Technical issues on YouTube. All right, I'm gonna have to end the live stream on YouTube. Sorry for those of you watching on YouTube. Illuminati interference, I saw that. Okay. No thanks. All right, I am back on TikTok. What's up, Tom? Or do you have a price for target for Bitcoin this year and what month? I mean, I think Bitcoin will pass its all-time high sometime around November or December. So that's what I think. Ethereum. In general, I'm bullish on Ethereum. I'm putting in the hours, yeah. Voyager and uphold screen go black when I try to get XRP. All right, yeah, you can't do it on Voyager. You can do it on uphold. You should be able to do it on uphold. So E-Gold, nothing, don't really know enough. Bitcoin will go down to 23K. Perhaps, I don't think so. VXV, I don't know enough. Keep hearing about Tiger. Will we ever see Bitcoin under 25K again? 25K, I mean, it's possible. Yeah. Am I going to buy more Bitcoin or ETH soon? if Bitcoin gets under 30,000, I will be loading up on alts. And I continue to add Bitcoin and ETH in general. So, what's up, 8NGO? Bigger percentage gain next bull, I would say ETH. 3-digit Matic next couple years. I didn't see that. I would say, man, that seems a little aggressive. I'm surprised that Crypto Weatherman would say that. Maybe 5 years from now, 4 years from now, something like that. Stellar Gold. I'm eating a smoothie. It's coming, Rome. Yeah, it is good. My wife makes good smoothies. That was pretty clever. Was it Benucci who said that? It's coming Rome. It's coming to Rome. Is Ethereum and Bitcoin a distraction so institutions can load up on Quant and XDC? I don't know. Alpha. Do you see Solana at $100 by end of year? No. End of cycle for sure, but not end of year. Is ETH forking with the 2.0? I don't think so. BC backer 77 to 80K, then we would revisit 13 range. Whoa. All right, Benucci. Can't wait to have wallets on Robinhood so I can make interest on Webull. Huh. Quant gonna skyrocket? Maybe, man. Quant's a beast. I don't know anything about Stellar Gold. Yeah, not going anywhere till September. I mean, I think August will be decent, but the fall, I think, is where it's at. Matic prediction for later this year, like $5. When do you see this bull cycle ending? May or early mid 2022. Hope you don't get banned. What are your thoughts on XRP? It's going to be flat until the bull run's over. So, Alan, the 10 whale address is owning 60%, 63% of link supplies. Check out Crypto Weatherman. He made a video about that, and he's not worried about it. So I agree with him. Terra Luna had a good weekend. Cool. I don't own any, but that's great. Vet end of year, like 30 cents maybe. Yeah, smoothie. Cool content. Bye. I mean, by the way. Thank you. Bye. I'm kidding. Do you think Apple is going to accept Bitcoin eventually? It's inevitable. You know, in hindsight, it will have been inevitable. That's a joke. Not worried either. It's just a bit concerning. Oh, yeah, okay. XRP prediction, $8 to $10 this cycle. Would you choose XLM or Matic if both are about the same predictions this cycle? Matic, because Matic's more of a long-term hold for me. Do I have a backup account? You know, I have another account that I haven't posted on in a while. It's called the Stonk Report. Maybe I'll do that and just use that one, but change it to like the Stonk or the Finance Report, the DeFi report. How about that? Ooh, yeah, the DeFi report. Theta end of year, $18 or so. Yeah, I'm surprised Pablo isn't live. It's like, you know, he fantasizes about the price of Bitcoin crashing so he can make money on his BTC down position. Did you see Alpha over the past week? No, what's that? Matic, definitely, yeah. Asset report, there we go. Anti-ban account. Great calls. Kusama thoughts. I like Kusama. You know, they're the thing that they have going on with Polkadot is great, and so I'm bullish on Kusama. I'm bullish on Polkadot. So Matic's below $1. I would start buying some of that if I were you. Best place to buy Quant. The only place that I know is Coinbase. I'm sure there's plenty of places where you can get it, but you can get it on Coinbase. I got some on Coinbase. Are we crashing big this time? I think this next week is going to be rough, and I've been saying that. So I don't know about like what that means. Like I don't think we're going to 20, but I could see us going under 30,000. I'm not sure about the big auction. Thank you, Look Papet. Cyprus, okay, Nicosia. Nicosia is in the house. Bulls and Bears. Which exchange do I use for Bitcoin? Voyager is my favorite. Wait for Bitcoin to drop to buy Quant. Maybe. I mean, Quant seems to be unaffected by these dips in Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe AZ baby. You might be right about that. I disagree with Pablo. I mean, he's saying like could go as low as like 17K. That seems crazy to me. Man, if it goes to 17K or something like that, yeah, maybe it is, but I'll like be selling stuff to get some 17K Bitcoin. You think Dogecoin will bridge with Ethereum? I have no idea. Quant is all right. Quant is affected. Okay. Yeah, $50 Quant. See you in 4 years. I don't think we're gonna have to wait for 4 years, no matter what happens. Should I buy a cold wallet? I don't know. I don't have any. I don't plan on having any. Where do you see the dip of Bitcoin stops? The dip of Bitcoin stops. Oh, where do you think it? Okay, high 20s, but maybe even not even the 20s. So Quant is affected. It's down to, yeah, I saw that. Okay, everyone stay cool. Down 10%. All right. I'll sell my Xbox, PS5 truck and everything. Yeah. Everyone stay cool. Be cool. My wife. All right, that's a little too far. Oh, man. You guys are killing me today. Good strategy to hold through bear run. I think so, and the reason why is because I just don't think what's this bear run? You know, I don't think that we're going to be in a bear run until the next halving. That just seems insane to me. So that Quant is definitely affected by Bitcoin. Went from 80 to 70. Really, it's only down to 73? That's hilarious. I am fine with like Quant being at 73. I don't know how much you would say that that's affected. Yeah, it's 73. I mean, how's my bot doing? Not very well, honestly. So ISTG. Yeah, double tap the screen. Thank you for suggesting that, Crypto Playing. XLM at 24 cent, decent buy-in, or would it most likely drop more? Tusca, I would wait. This week's not going to be pretty, I don't think. Wait until next week or so. Not financial advice. Yeah, not worried. Best platform to short some during the dip? Man, I don't know. I don't do any of that. Maybe Binance. George Soros scares me now in Bitcoin. I can see him shorting it because it's causing it to crash. He's evil. Whew, yeah. 73 is closer to 50, yeah. Yeah, tequila, I totally agree with you on that. Yep. We've always wanted institutions in Bitcoin, in crypto, and now we got it. So be careful what you wish for. Do I stake? Yeah, I stake Cake. And, you know, I have some crypto on BlockFi. I have a decent amount of crypto on BlockFi, getting, you know, 5 returns. So, yeah, Quant was north of 80, but I mean, like, just zoom out and look at the Quant chart. That doesn't really seem to be all that much affected by Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin 60K by December. I agree with that, yeah. Regulation is a good thing. It depends on the regulation, but it would be nice. You know, I think that the one thing that would be good about it is that, you know, like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, they're much more likely to enter into a regulated space than they are right now. All right, expecting a huge drop at 63K. Like, how big of a drop, Alan? I'm curious. Because I could see that being a point of resistance. Just like 20K in December was a huge level of resistance, but once we broke through that, it was off to the races. High 30s, interesting. Okay. XRP to 30? No. I think Blockchain Boy, or not Blockchain Boy, I like Blockchain Boy. BitBoy Crypto. It's like his source is trust me, bro. You know? So, not going to see 20K unless we are in a bear market. JP started as one of the elites like Rockefeller, yeah. I feel like the Black Swan event can be rough if there is one, yeah. Do you think DN? DN. Oh. Is that a joke? Did I just get pranked? Who has the best staking returns? So it's not officially staking, but Celsius seems to have really good returns, so... When do you think Bitcoin's next big move will take place? Sambo, I think we'll pass the all-time high again sometime November, December, something like that. Interesting thought, Crypto King. I never thought about that. XRP to 1 million. Trust me, bro. Yeah. Yeah, tequila. Yep. They want cheap crypto. They don't want $60,000 Bitcoin. They want $30,000 Bitcoin until it's literally impossible to buy $30,000 Bitcoin. And then they'll buy $60,000 Bitcoin. So, sell Bitcoin? I'm not selling any of my Bitcoin for at least 20 years. Hey, you never know. Yeah, AZ baby, it's always darkest before the dawn. So... What keeps me from staking more? I don't know. I have a ton of crypto that's getting returns. Pretty much all my crypto is getting some kind of return. So I'm staking a lot. Yeah. People will one day say, wow, I can't believe people were able to buy at such cheap prices. No doubt. Yeah. Oh man, tequila. You know, you got 13.5 Bitcoin. I know it's not your keys, but man, that's fantastic that you own that much. Thoughts on Bitcoin and ETH right now? Check out my second most recent TikTok. The grayscale unlocks. It's going to be rough, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, Alan. 1,700 ETH, way too high. 1 year later, 20K ETH. Price entry to buy Bitcoin. If you see you see 20,000 range, like upper 20s, I would recommend buying in. So, the fact that the institutions didn't buy at 28K is kind of concerning. Who bought at 28K then? Because, I mean, they bought. Somebody drove the price up. I'm curious what you mean by that. All right, see you later, MJ. Have a good one. Got it at 5,300, but I'm holding. And Ethereum when it was at 128. Nice. That's better than I did. I was 4 figures for Bitcoin, around 300 for Ethereum. So, yeah, Alan, I wasn't a believer in Wyckoff, but yes, it is invalid. All right, ZK, I believe next year ETH will be around 6K-ish. I could see that. I think it will have gone up to 5 figures and then down to 6K, but Dogecoin update, Doge is going to be flat for a while. It's going to be flat for a while. ETH bottom predictions, maybe around 1,700. Look, at the end of the day, I'm happy I got into it. None of my friends listen to me. That's funny. I'm happy I got in. I'm still up pretty big, and I hate to say it like that because I know that a lot of you are down. So, sorry. Synthetic thoughts. I have no price predictions. I am very excited about, that's a big bear market thing, is for me to buy stock pegged tokens. So I'm excited about that. How low do you think Quant can go to? Probably the 50s or so. When is crypto going up? August. It'll start inching its way back up, in my opinion. This down is just a temporary down. Yep. Cardano, $8 this cycle. HBAR during the bear market. Do I think it'll drop much? I think it'll drop a fair amount. The thing that makes me want to hold it is I do believe, like 10 years from now, that it'll be 3 figures. So I just don't want to mess around with it. But I only have like $500 worth of HBAR anyway. So will Doge go up? It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. Polygon is one of my favorites. Very bullish on Polygon. And there's very little Polygon available on exchanges. So yeah, Alan, that's what I was thinking when the question about Cardano was asked. And lots of promises, lots of hype. It is not worth $40 billion right now, in my opinion. So Cardano and Matic bottom. Where's Cardano? $1.29. Maybe a dollar teens for Cardano. Matic, I mean, it's under a dollar right now. It'll go lower if Bitcoin goes lower, but I don't know. I mean, any Matic being under a dollar, I'm like, I'm interested. So ETH, what about it? I love ETH. Very bullish on ETH. So sorry, I missed some stuff. 50 cents for Matic. Okay, man, what a steal that would be. XLM, I love XLM. Sorry. BNB is one of my favorites. BNB is a beast. They've got some short term things, some short term issues, but once they get through that, they'll be great. Sir ETH, I like it. Appreciate the thoughts. All right. VeChain kind of sketchy. Got hacked 2 years ago. Lied about their partnerships. Blockchain boy likes VeChain. I think they should regulate day trading on crypto. My opinion usually is, should they regulate? No. But I don't know. What regulations would you recommend? That's the thing that I'm a little nervous about. Should we hold Doge or sell it? In general, my opinion is holding. Oh, wow.
Oh, hello.
What's up, man?
Hey, Alex, how are you?
All right. What a
It's Alex, right?
surprise. What you got going on?
Thanks, Jay. Uh, I'm just sharing with the folks with what's happening with the Bitcoin prices right now, and I usually do this whenever it crashes. So this is kind of do you use charts much? Because I've seen some of your videos. I think you talk about more fundamentals and stuff. Do you do
I
you
talk
look
about
at charts and
fundamentals. I talk about glass node analysis is my big thing. But
so what?
I saw your most recent Glassnode, glassnode.com. Are you familiar?
Yeah, the on-chain analytics website.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's my go-to. But I heard you say once that you're like 30% you're 30% TA. Is that right?
30% what?
Technical analysis. That's kind of
Yeah,
your
it's only
yeah.
30%. Only 30. Yeah.
I would say I'm pretty similar. That I'm about 30%. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, mostly metrics. But I saw your video about that wedge, that descending wedge, and the volume and things like that. So, love to hear more of your
You mean the
thoughts.
one literally like a minute ago? Like literally 3 hours
Oh,
ago?
yeah, a few hours ago. If you made one recently, I haven't seen that.
Uh, yeah, like 3 hours ago. Yeah, literally
Yeah,
3 hours ago. That I did.
yeah, I saw that.
Oh, cool. I turned the filters off. That I didn't. I was trying to flip the camera and I accidentally had one of the filters on. But like I can't believe how good my skin looks. All these women. That's you guys fall for this. You can't even spot women when they do this. How can you spot markets and whales? These are hedge funds spending billions to do this. Like you look at this woman, you go, she looks hot, right? She looks hot. Look at her skin; it's glowing. If you cannot even tell women are doing this to you, how can you tell the hedge funds are doing this? So I just had to point out the irony in what people are doing here. Please go on.
You talking to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I thought you might have been talking to somebody in your stream. I mean, I'm curious. So I don't know if you know this, Pablo. I did make a video, kind of disagreeing with you, not kind of, like strongly disagreeing with you at the end of May.
Yeah.
Basically saying, whales they'll buy in. It's not going to go down to 20 to 25K. And that was specifically for June. And now I'm more so. I know I messaged you last week about these grayscale unlocks, and it seems to be playing out that way. I mean, I made a TikTok about, I showed you that TikTok about the grayscale unlocks, maybe perhaps giving the bears an opportunity to push the price down, and calling for like a July 18th bottom because that's the biggest day for the unlocks. So you think, I think you responded to me and you said something about how that's priced in. Is that, you think that's priced in, or was that
Well,
something else that you were saying?
yeah, I responded to that. I haven't looked heavily into the grayscale situation because basically okay, like, so you think that it's what's going to happen with grayscale is that do you still think that's going to bottom on the 19th?
Well, all right. So on the 18th, there's about 16,000 shares being unlocked. On the 19th, there's there's nothing, and but then on the 20th, there's a decent amount. And let me think. I'm looking at a chart here. So it looks like around
Yeah.
9,000 shares are being unlocked on the 20th, and then but then after that, it's not that many throughout the rest of the next 30 days or so. And
Hmm.
so what I pointed out in that video, what I've noticed is that in May, in March, and in December, when there were pretty heavy unlocks, bears use that as an opportunity to push the price down because it's like they're not selling any of their shares, but they are um, they are using it as an opportunity to, I don't know, inject FUD to make a quick buck on shorting Bitcoin. And so I'm just wondering if something's going to happen similar this time over the next week or 2 weeks. So it could be the 18th that we see the low, or it could be the 20th or 21st.
I'll, basically, to answer your question, my thinking is this. So if you guys
Yeah,
remember, when Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy announced around here, it was, I can show you the tweet, the exact tweet when he announced that. He said, "We're going to set up a fund to buy $500 million of what is it? Yeah, $500 million worth of bitcoins,"
yeah,
and happened exactly here. There was the tweet, and when he said $500 million raised, it was here. It means that we're going to start buying 500 million, $500 million of this is institutional buying
yeah,
bitcoins, and look what happened. Went from 41 down to 28. That's actually the crash. So basically, the turning points were exactly set by the news of the announcements. There are, like, I'm still trying to figure out if this grayscale unlocking is good or bad, because
yeah.
traditionally when there's a grayscale, it's been very good. It's been very good for
Mhm.
Bitcoin, but recently it's been a grayscale uh, 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 discount. So whilst I'm still trying to figure that out. Basically, I've heard people say it's institutions and hedge funds are going to buy when grayscale unlocks, and I've heard people say they're going to sell. The thing is, and I've seen so much discussion about it. When there's so much discussion about it, whatever the outcome is, it's already been priced in. It's not something that the market doesn't know. So basically, um, it's I'd have to think about that one. I'd have to think about that one. But
Yeah.
it's when it gets
So,
closer to the date, uh, you know,
well, one thing that I'll throw out is, all right, the grayscale. So from what I remember with the premium versus the discount, I remember grayscale heading into discount territory sometime around February, like when Bitcoin, maybe it was sometime in January, maybe February. Before
yeah, it
that,
sounds about right.
yeah, there wasn't really much of a discount. So I'm wondering
Mhm.
if this time is going to be similar, where the shares that are being unlocked are 6 months old. Um, that maybe Grayscale was at a premium still at that time when these shares that are getting unlocked were locked, basically. And so maybe that means that the action is going to be similar to May, to March, to December when those unlocks happened. But then perhaps afterwards, August and on with future unlocks, it's not going to be as it might be a different reaction to it, but we'll
Uh,
see soon enough.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing that's different this time though.
Okay.
Last few times there was a grayscale unlocking at a discount, there wasn't nearly as much fanfare and reporting in the markets. This time there's a lot, so
Hmm.
there's more hype around this time. So, um, and I've read, and I'm not even sure which way the hype goes. Some people do say, some of the reports say the unlocking means it'll crash the price. Some of the unlocking says the unlocking will means institutions, if anything, they'll have to buy it for a
Yeah.
hedge or whatever
Yeah.
it is, reinvest. So therefore, see, the thing is, it's not like MicroStrategy when they announced they're going to buy Bitcoins. Because when they announced they're going to buy Bitcoins, there's only one interpretation for that, which is the prices are going up. And therefore, you could almost set your clock to when Bitcoin was going to dump. As soon as they have the money and they say we're going to buy, the market starts dumping. This time, I've spent hours doing research on this, and even I couldn't quite figure it out without probably doing another day or two of research on prima facie, is this bullish for Bitcoin or is this bearish for Bitcoin before the speculators and the second order guessing and mind games comes in? So therefore, how's the market meant to react to this? Does the average person look at this? They'll see some reports saying, oh yeah, that means Bitcoin's going down. Or do they look at it and see the other 30-40% of reports saying, oh yeah, that means Bitcoin's going up? How
Yeah.
do they react? It's
Yeah.
mixed news. It's kind of like one of those things which says, oh, by the way, Biden's gonna, talk to the president of China. Is that bad for trade or is that good for trade?
Yeah.
70%, 60% of the pundits on TV say, oh, I think it's good, Larry, and the other 30% say, no, Jim, I disagree. I think it's great for trade. So in that case, basically, what you're getting is not all the pundits, all the commentary, all the hype pointing one way. There is a lot of expectation, but it's mixed. So
Yeah.
in that way, it sort of cancels each other out. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And the smart money, the ones who have figured this out, because it took me a few hours and I still couldn't figure out
Hmm.
which way the market is going to go on this. They would have already positioned themselves just like when MicroStrategy says they're going to buy $500 million of bitcoins. It's already discounted. This is so talked about. This is so analyzed to death in the market. That's what I think. So I want to ask you: do you think Bitcoin's going up or down now? Like after you made that video?
Well, I mean, what you're saying, it's like, yeah, they're whatever they're expecting us to, whatever we are expecting, and I'll just say myself, the retail trader, the retail investor from Grayscale unlocks, they do have a tendency to go in the other direction. And so one thing that I've been clear about is no matter what, on the 18th or after all these unlocks, I'm gonna convert some of my tether back to, or my USD coin, whatever, my stable coins, back to Bitcoin, to altcoins and things like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what I've been telling people on my live streams is that I'm not expecting much for. I've been saying this pretty consistently since we went back to the 200-day moving average, that I'm not expecting um, Bitcoin. I didn't expect much from June as far as if Bitcoin went up. I didn't expect July. I don't expect much of it. If there's any green candle in July, I don't expect it to be that big. August, I expect to be, aside
Okay.
from any
Do you
black
think
swan
it'll
event.
go 30? Do you think Bitcoin's going to break 30? And I don't mean just like going to 29. I mean like in a meaningful way, like going to 26, 25. Do you expect that to happen in the coming 2 weeks?
No, no, and I know you do, or I don't know. I mean, you don't seem to put a time frame on that. Um, the thing that I've been very consistent about is that there are things that we just can't measure, and whenever it seems like whenever it gets close to 30, somebody unexpectedly comes in and buys cheap Bitcoin. In June, it was under 30,000 for exactly 2 hours, and then shot back up. So, I mean, my expectation is that if it got under 30 again, that unexpectedly again somebody's going to come in and scoop it up. Now, I know that you have a different opinion on that, and You know, I mean, I've seen your thoughts. I saw what you posted about the volume and the volume being
Uh-huh.
low. And so, what are you comparing it to when you
Well,
see the
you know,
volume's low?
the thing is, I've said this in previous videos. Basically, this buying theory also happened for 9 months. This happened, yeah, for 9 months between say February to November of 2018. For 9 months, they were
Yeah.
buying that every day. It went to 6,000. They were. I counted 13 times. Bitcoin bounced off that. Um, the one time it appears that actually went about $200 lower was around here. And
Hmm.
then if you added up the time between these two dates, right, and then double that, you get the exact date of the crash. So I've done an exercise just for fun here, basically to say this could happen again. And if I subtracted the dates, worked out the number of days between the first crash was May 19th and the
Yeah.
June 22nd crash to 28,000, and I
Yeah.
arrived at the date of 26th of July. So basically, there is no point for me to put a specific date on it other than I'm just going to have fun and say we could crash somewhere in end of July. But it's like saying last time it took 9 months. It took Bitcoin
Yeah.
bounced off this thing for 9 months before it went down. It's just basically how should I say it, dates are very difficult to get right. I mean, roughly the price direction is easier, which is still difficult to get right, but dates are especially tough to get right. Now
Yeah.
the thing is if I have to guess, and this I don't have high confidence in this. I would say something like late July, early August. Um, I understand that there are people in your camp as well who want to buy bitcoins at 30,000 each time it goes down to 30,000. Um, I I'm not going to stop you guys because
Sure.
I keep on repeating. I only have a small percentage of my wealth or net worth in crypto, where I plan to invest in crypto. But however, most of my net worth is in property and some more in stocks, and I got into those years ago. So basically, when I said it was going to 30,000, 20,000, that was my best guesstimate, and I'm about 90% sure of that. But so many of you that are watching actually, actually want to put 100% of your money, sell your house, and borrow money to invest and leverage up to invest in Bitcoin, because you see that as your way to buying your first property or your second property or
Yeah.
paying off your mortgage. And a lot of those viewers are actually crazy, a lot more crazy than I am, and they need this result to be 100%. And whoever can give them 100% result, So I say, you can listen to Alex if you want. It's either option is fine by me. But I just want to say that I haven't bought anything yet. I've sold everything. I've gone short. You all know this. I haven't bought anything yet. I've gone out there to say that I think it's going to the 20s. I'm not saying it's definite. I strongly think it's going to the 20s, and seeing the market price reaction and the shrinkage in volume, the narrowing of the trading in volatility, that's all pointed out. It looks just like what happened in you know
In
2018.
2018.
Of course, the
Yeah.
market surprised you. Just remember, in 2018, the market surprised you by it actually had this long wick up. So we could have that as well to 37, 38,000. And then that's when everybody will come in and buy the dip and think we're going back into a bull market again. It'll have a long wick up. It's going to test out all the bulls, all the bears, and then basically go sideways again and bang. That's the scenario I see for it. The thing is this: if this was the bottom, there would be actually a lot of buying volume.
Yeah.
But we don't see that. We don't actually see that. It's not the way that a bottom behaves. A bottom is basically price goes up on strong green candles. I'll show you guys what a bottom looks like. First of all, bottoms don't actually go sideways like this. So let me just show you. This is what a bottom looks like. So after that crash, if you can see this lot of green volume, right? And then it kept on going down. This massive green candle, as high as the dumping like about 4 candles there, as high as the dumping red volume, and prices actually went up. Then it stayed at a higher level and went sideways, and it went quiet. Do you see what happened?
Yeah, I mean that
It
looks a
went
lot like right now.
No, that's nothing like what's happening right now. Right now, it would be like it goes up like that for one day. One day, yeah, I'll show you what happens right now.
Sure.
It goes up for one day, comes right back to 3,000. This is at 4,000. It went up from 3,000 to 4,000. It went sideways, right? And then another batch of red and green volume drives it up. Right now, what's happening is it would go up for one day, nowhere near this kind of volume, and then come back. The volume backs right off, and it comes back down to 3,000 again, up, down to 3,000 again, up, down to 3,000 again. Remember, this was the 3,200 bottom, and it went to 4,000 and stayed there on 4 days of massive green volume, right? And basically, then it went quiet into quiet accumulation when it was, maybe if I make it larger, maybe it's easier to see. Where was the bottom at this? The bottom was 3,000, 3,200, 3,186. And then where was the bottom at this? 3,400. So basically, yeah, you could see there was 4 days of rising volume, rising green volume, rising green volume.
Yeah, sure.
And then pushed it up, and it kind of stayed up there and then went sideways before breaking out. What we're seeing right now is kind of the opposite of that. I haven't seen anything like that yet. I haven't seen. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing I've noticed, and I've been thinking through this, is a lot of people who are heavily reliant on technical analysis, like you're showing me, stuff like that, they are bearish right now. Do you follow the crypto weatherman?
Yeah, I follow him.
Yeah, I mean, really big, in the moment bearish. You know, I think that both of you would agree that Bitcoin would be higher a year from now, right?
Yeah, likely, very likely, yeah.
Okay. So people who rely on Glassnode analysis, they on the other hand, or on things like that, they're much more bullish than people who are big on technical analysis. And so what I'm seeing from them is, all right, short-term sellers throughout the month of May and June were outpacing, sorry, short-term holders throughout the months of May and June were outpacing long-term holders with their selling versus the long-term holders buying. But then throughout June, long-term holders added 740,000 Bitcoin to their portfolios, and it's nearing a point, or no, it's beyond this point right now. They're accumulating faster than the short-term holders can sell, and so what they're seeing is at some point a progression in a direction that where there's some kind of supply crunch to where it has to go up. And so you can talk about volume, you can talk about comparing it to 2018 all you want, but there's not enough short-term holders that are selling for the price to go that much further down.
I'll just show you guys what's been happening here. The opposite has been happening. So those green bars are nowhere near the red dumping bars. And when it came in, it's one day and then just went down. It went progressively down as the market rallied. And you know what that green bar actually is? It's actually the day when it went to 28,000. So you could argue that most of that was actually selling volume. That's actually a crash volume, right? Half of that. I mean, if it didn't end up there, that would be a red bar. And then as it rallied, it just went progressively went down. So I hear what you're saying, man. The short answer is this. Did you check, you know, that long-term holder, short-term holder index you're talking about from Glassnode? Did you check what happened back in 2008? Same thing was happening. Same thing was happening. Also, Glassnode showed,
crypto didn't exist in 2008.
Huh?
So 2000, I mean, you're not talking about crypto. What are you talking about?
But there are but there are other on-chain services that did exist back
Sure.
then. If you checked, same thing was. Let me ask you this: are you still holding a lot of Bitcoins, and did you buy them at above 40,000?
No, well, I bought a large majority of my Bitcoin. I'd say probably about 10% of it I bought above 40,000. The rest of it was,
So
you know,
you're still holding all your Bitcoins.
yeah, I don't plan on selling any of my Bitcoin for, I think I've been saying I'm holding it for like 20 years at least. So,
Okay, sure. That's probably a good strategy because you bought them at a relatively low price. But I
yeah,
think we should declare that because I declared that I sold all my cryptos at that and I'm expecting lower prices. That basically people should know basically that that Alex speaking from a position where he's hodling onto his coins, and I'm someone who's been basically sold my coins trying to get back in. And I don't have to get back in because I'm just as happy investing in a high yielding property.
sure.
The thing is, Glassnode didn't exist back then. Okay, great
Yeah,
technical point, bro. If you look at other on-chain services,
yeah,
the same thing happened. It doesn't matter if Glassnode existed back then or not, but they still have data going back then, right? You can still do the data. And when you look at the data, basically, same thing was happening. In fact, you're not even providing the best example, Alex. The best example is basically the whales are buying. That's what you should be saying to me as a counter argument.
yeah,
The Glassnode was for going on, report into this report by CNBC like a week ago, saying that the whales have started buying 60,000 or whatever, not the long-term holders, but whale accounts. People holding wallets with more than 5,000 coins have been buying. And yes, I went back and I checked. Back in 2018, same thing was happening. Just because the whales were buying at 6,000 doesn't mean that's the bottom. And I made a video about this. You can go and
yeah.
watch it. It's 4 days ago. Basically, 4 days ago, if you were to watch that video, it says, yeah, they bought at 6,000. What happened to the price? Dropped to 3,200. The whales don't mean it's the bottom of the market. The whales usually get it. They're better than the retailers. They roughly get it within, once they start buying, it means the market bottom is coming in the next 2 or 4 months. 2 or 4 months. And sometimes they get it completely wrong. So basically, yeah, they started buying. Doesn't mean July is the bottom. Doesn't mean June is the bottom. Doesn't even mean August is the bottom. In fact, the exact same thing happened last time, and the market crapped itself. So, yeah, I look at a Glassnode, but
Yeah.
it's not even a reliable indicator. If you're pinning your hopes on Glassnode, I hope you've got better data to look at.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I'm reading your chat right now. It's on my computer, and the people in your chat, I just want to make an announcement to them that I'm reading it, and it's hilarious. So anyway, that's all. I just got ripped apart apparently. So anyway, so
Look,
all right, I got a question for you
is,
because I'm fine having respectful disagreements. I mean, that's totally fine with me, and I consider you a smart guy. So what happens? I'm curious to know because like I am open to the possibility that you're absolutely right about this and I'm wrong. Okay. So what happens? You say Bitcoin could go down to 25K to 20 to 17K. What happens after that? Do you think it'll bounce back pretty quickly or
I previously thought it would be a V-shaped bottom. Um, but the way it's looking right now, it's almost playing. Look, if it crashes in the next month or so, it would look almost exactly like 2018. If that was the case, then I'm more leaning 70% towards a U-shaped bottom,
sure?
30% towards a V-shaped bottom. Once it crashes down there, basically, then you got to watch the news. Basically, the one thing that's going to kickstart the next bull cycle is the announcement of more stimulus. And this is where fundamental analysis comes in, and it's going to trump technical analysis. If there's more stimulus from the Joe Biden government, or there's more quantitative easing and
Yeah,
monetizing of the US government debt from the Federal Reserve, that's not already been priced in. Everything's been priced in right now. But if they announce, which I do expect them to announce, because the US economy is crapping out right now. Most people don't think like this. Even the Federal Reserve doesn't think like this. they're still thinking we might need to taper because we're seeing a lot of inflation right now. But however, the bond yields has been dropping like there's no tomorrow. So if I take my cues usually from the bond market, and they've been dropping pretty hard. What that means to me is basically that I think the economy is crappier, much crappier than what everyone's thinking. That means come fourth quarter or end of third quarter this year, thank you for the aeroplane, the Federal Reserve is going to come out and say, we're going to do, I don't know what more tricks they have to do. They might even have to buy even more bonds or whatever, and 120 billion a month. And the Biden government will have to come out and say, we're going to have to do this more stimulus and that stimulus and more checks in the hands of average Americans. That's not discounted by the market yet. And that's called, fiat abuse. Whenever fiat cash currency abuse, whenever that happens, basically, Bitcoin goes through the roof. That's actually, quite historically consistent. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
I'm just curious. I mean, if you were right and it went down to 20s or even 17, I think that was the bottom that you made in that most recent video, right? Was it 17?
It could be lower than that. It could even theoretically could even be lower than that. Although I do think that anything below 20 is unfathomable, but it is possible. Even though people don't think it could ever go below its previous peak.
Sure.
I
mean, I could see that.
Yeah. I want to quickly show people, this is the chart I'm referring to. That's the US 10-year Treasury bonds, right? Yields. And it's been dipping like this. Now, when this is happening, Federal Reserve, whilst it was like around here, June 16th, the Federal Reserve in their last FOMC still was saying, no, I think the US economy is overheating. We need to taper the bond buying and bring the yields, back up a little, whatever it is that they want to do. The thing is, by they're ignoring this major signal from the market that 10-year yields are actually majorly dipping. In fact, the 10-year, 2-year yield curve has flattened like majorly since they've announced. So basically, you're going to start seeing headlines of U.S. economy hitting the skids and being very weak in the next month to 3 months. But you heard it from here first, because not very many people are talking about this and saying the U.S. economy is actually weaker. Inflation is actually something they shouldn't worry so much about right now. Most inflation is actually coming from supply side problems, such as containers. Like basically, for example, if you're buying shoes, you go and buy some Nike shoes in a Nike store. That pair of Nikes, which used to cost like $50, would now cost $80 right now. Why? Because one, there's a trade war going on with China, but Trump hiked up the tariffs. Biden hasn't brought them back yet. Two, because what's happening with the pandemic is that the container prices, the container where they ship the Nike shoes are now $20,000 per container. It used to be $1,800 per container. So to ship from China of shoes to the US, it used to be $18,000. Now it's at least $12,000, and someplace they quote you $20,000. It's not just that. Oil prices are all-time high. Ships are getting stuck, at ports because of quarantine. Container prices going through the roof. Lumber went through the roof. Now it's down. There are just so many things that are what do they call supply side problems. That's basically causing this right now. So inflation, it seems, is actually transitory, as hard to believe as it is. So which is why I do think, don't go to sleep on this, guys. And that's why, in a way, Alex is right in that he's actually hodling for the long term. And he only bought 10%, like he said, above 40,000. Most of it he bought below 40.
Below 20.
Below 20, yeah. So it makes sense for him to hodl. But, that's why he would be worried if it actually went below 20. But then he would still hodl. The thing is, for some of you though, who are thinking of buying at 34, 35, maybe it isn't such a wise idea, because most of you have not sunk a majority of your wealth into it yet. And you're, unlike Alex, you're probably not hoping to hodl for 20 years, because you can do the math, right? You're what, like most of you are what, 25? The average age, I guess, of my viewers right now are 25. If, like Alex, you were to hodl Bitcoins for 20 years, you'll be 45. Yeah, Bitcoin might be worth $1 million by then, or it could be worth a lot less. But let's say it's worth $1 million in 20 years. You're 45, right? What are you going to do? You're going to buy a Lambo when you're 45? No, who wants to do that? You're going to have,
Oh my
you're going to want
goodness.
to party and get the chicks. You want to get the chicks when you're young, right? When you're like 45, you got to take Viagra pills. You're like, oh, doc, I can't get it up, man. There's just the ink's just running dry, dude. What's the point of buying a Lambo? Like Alex, for example, he's, I'm guessing, mid to early 30s. 20 years, he'll be like 50 something, right? You got to live your life when you're young, man. If you're going to hodl something for 20 years, you might as well buy stocks. You might as well buy Coca-Cola or GM, General Motors, or
Oh my
General
goodness,
Electric.
Pablo, man.
What do you want to be doing? The reason why you invest in crypto is you want the Lambo tomorrow, right? Next year, tomorrow. So you're getting the
Yeah.
chicks when they're young.
See, we're two different people, man. I just like, all right, I'm 39. I know I look young. Thank you for thinking I'm younger than I am. But listen, I have 5 kids. I'm assuming, do you have any kids? I'm assuming you don't. All right, he's off on the distance. Don't listen to Pablo about that, about what he just said. It's like, dude, I'm
You you
building
have
something. What?
you have kids, really? You have 5 kids?
I have 5 kids, yeah. So like when
With
I think about investing and building my wealth, it's like I wouldn't give half of a rip about buying a Lambo tomorrow. It's like I'm going to live like the millionaire next door, which means that you're not going to be able to tell I'm a millionaire. And so I'm denying myself my needs, all that stuff. The short term, I just don't care about living the life that it seems like you're living, which congratulations, that's great. But it's like I'm building something, I'm building a future for not just myself, but for my family, which means that I'm a holder. I've made the mistakes of trying to be a trader. I mean, if you've had success as a trader, like God bless you, that's great, but like I'm a holder because I've made those mistakes. I made those mistakes in my 20s. I made money. I lost money. I built a business. I crashed a business. I built another business. I sold that business. I've done all that stuff. And I'm just at a point in my life where it's like, I don't want kids to be making dumb mistakes that, like, if you've had that kind of success, awesome. I just don't think most people are going to have that success by trading and trying to get in and out of things like that. So
most okay, are you hodling anything else, Alex? Are you
yeah,
hodling property or stocks?
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I have
Uh,
stocks. I'm pretty heavy in crypto right now. I am. Let's see. I mean, for my crypto, it's my 5 that I say to people is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, Chainlink, and HBAR. Those are 5 that I'm holding in some capacity. So
okay. Like what about property? That's one that I actually have most of my assets in.
yeah, I mean, so I transitioned. I moved to a new city, so I sold my property, um, and I'm in between right now. So I'm going to be adding to that later on, but not right now. So I sold
Okay.
my
Um,
house. What?
you sold your house and you moved to a new city.
Yes.
Is it a growth city where jobs are coming?
Um, it's kind of a Rust Belt city, so there's an exit
What I
of. Go ahead.
what I would have advised, because I don't want to pry too much into your private lives.
Sure.
What I would advise to most of you guys who are in a similar situation is do all that you can to hang on to the property you had, and then when you move to a new place, either rent or buy a new one, because I'm sure it's gone up a lot. And basically, if Alex had the same spirit in hodling Bitcoins as he did property, I think most of you guys listening will do well over your next 20 years. Basically, my idea and strategy has been to hodl property and just, I guess, other than the United States, property never really goes down 50%. So I mean, I know that's happened in 2008 in the US, but usually it doesn't, even in the US. If you're going to hodl something, hodl property. That's what I would say. And even if you move to a different city, keep the one you have, rent it out. The rent is a lot higher than the mortgage you're paying right now. And in the new city, if you have to rent. But do whatever you can to buy a second one and then accumulate, buy a third one. It's kind of the same idea as what Alex is doing with Bitcoin. But I wish I had the kind of faith that he has in Bitcoin. If there's one crypto that I would hodl, it would probably be Ethereum. But I don't even have that much faith in Ethereum. What do you think, Alex? Do you only hodl Bitcoin, or would you hodl Ethereum as well? Which would you hodl more?
I mean, right now it's Ethereum. It's more so just because Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin. So I have
not right now, but you're talking about 20-year time spans. What about in 20 years' time?
I mean, I'd revisit that over time for Ethereum. I mean, I am curious about, EIP 1559 launching from, turning it from inflationary to deflationary. I'm curious to see what that burn is like.
Did you just do a video on E559? Because I just saw a video. I think that was from you, wasn't it? You said, was that you who said Ethereum is outperforming?
You commented on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was you. So don't they announce a date? I mean, like you said, it was going to happen sometime in July. So there's all this buying. Thank you. I'm quite shocked that I have been following this EIP 1559, but if it's going to happen, wouldn't Vitalik just announce a date saying, "Oh, this is the date we're going to do it on"? I thought it was in November. Why is this happening in July, and why don't we know the specific date where Ethereum is switching?
It's now August 4th.
So instead of November, they're now saying it's August 4th.
Yeah. What are you thinking of the same thing? Because EIP 1559 was always going to be in July, but then they just pushed it back to August 4th. There might be something else that you're thinking about.
Which one's the one that's going to happen in November? They call the Ethereum 2.0. That's a different thing, isn't it?
I think that's going to be in 2022, and that is a different thing. Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, different. Right. Okay. The thing is, so it is August the 4th.
Yeah.
They've announced that date. Okay. I'm surprised that the price of Ethereum hasn't run up earlier than that. It's okay. Look, I guess it makes sense because the last few days Bitcoin's been going flat. Once Bitcoin's going flat, and then people are like, okay, the market is steady, the market is stabilized, and then there's a run up in some of these coins. I can see that.
So, Pablo, I mean, it seems like you're an expert on macroeconomic things, but I'm kind of surprised, I don't know, that you don't know about this stuff with Ethereum. Like, I mean, it seems like you're more of a big picture guy, and then you're just paying attention to Bitcoin, but that you're not really, I'm surprised hearing, it just seems like you're not really much of a crypto guy at all.
Well, I look at macroeconomics. I don't look too into specific what they're doing with the technical upgrades and stuff. Basically, it comes and goes, and basically, like, seriously, like, who here has? I've always said this. I've always been very upfront. I said, who here has a computer science degree? And even then, basically, I hear basically people who are who are ex Google and ex Facebook guys. I have friends who are ex Google and ex Facebook, ex Microsoft, and they all lead teams in there. And I hear them debate. One thinks Cardano's better. One thinks Ethereum's better. And I listen to that. And I'm like, yeah, really. I'm gonna go without a computer science background. I'm gonna go and read up on this on some website and research this for about 3 weeks, and then I'm gonna know better than these guys. No, that's not going to happen. Basically, this isn't like investing in stocks. Basically, what Warren Buffett says about investing in stocks is that you can go and drink Coca-Cola and you can tell, is it better than Fanta or not? You can go and use Gillette, the shaver, and use these competing products. You can go and drive BYD compared to Tesla. That you can do because you're the end user. This is basically, that's why Warren Buffett stays away from it. Basically, it's, to me, it's a little bit of a fool's errand. You can go and study this, but how much does this really matter? The thing that controls the price most of the time is basically macro factors for fundamentals and technical analysis. The who here can basically say, okay, Cardano is basically going to overtake Ethereum in 3 years' time? Nobody.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think so, but
okay, like you take, for example, another influencer, his name's Haksan. So he's basically he used to work at Facebook. I'm not sure if some of you guys are familiar with him or not. And he's been saying, I think from memory, he's been saying that Ethereum 2.0 is going to be the Ethereum killer, not Cardano, not anything else. And then I speak to his people who have worked with him at Facebook, computing geniuses as well. And they say, no, Ethereum is going to, 2.0 is going to crash. And they talk a bunch of jargons. And I'm like, okay, this is a specialized field. What most people underestimate is that this is a really, really specialized field. Basically, I talk about macroeconomics because I studied finance in university. I studied economics since I was 14. I worked in an investment bank for a number of years as a trader. I'm qualified to talk about that. And even then, I say stuff like, I think this is going to happen, or correct me if I'm wrong. But people like Hassan is one of the few people on here that I would say who actually knows what he's talking about. He doesn't only have a degree in this, but he's in computer science. He's actually worked for Facebook, whereas other people basically will read up articles for a few hours on different websites and then are confident in their investment and hodl for 20 years. I don't know if that's what I would do. So,
sure. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's like based on performance, based on like this is something that this is before I even got into crypto. That's been a strategy that I've been a big proponent of. So it's not necessarily a crypto thing, but it's like the first time that I looked up stocks in the 80s, like for instance, Home Depot. You just held Home Depot from 1985 till now and just never worried about ups and downs, about peaks and valleys. I mean, the returns on that would have been amazing. And so that's an investment strategy that I've had for a long time. And I'm perfectly fine with people who are traders like you. I mean, it seems like you're more of a trader. I mean, it doesn't seem like that. You are more of a trader, and that's fine. I think for a lot of the new people, I think most of the people watching your stream and mine right now, I don't think that's a good idea. I think they're going to lose a lot of money.
I think most people who have been following me knows that I actually been saying to hodl, but at the right price. If you look at your Home Depot example, basically you could probably say you could hodl Home Depot at any price from say 20 years ago, and it would have been great. But it will still make a difference if you bought Home Depot at the top of the market or at the bottom of the market. The thing is, essentially, I've been advising people to hodl property. I've already said that literally like a minute ago.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
For 20 years. And I've also said I've been hodling stocks. When it comes to crypto, though, we don't know what long-term is. Basically,
sure.
5 years could be long-term hodl for crypto, even though Bitcoin has performed really well over the last 12 years or so. So here's the thing: like, here's what I'm wondering, right? If basically, by the way, I just want to jump in with something. Some of you have been asking me about AMC. So this is the performance of AMC. It's barely hung in there. And obviously, this is something that you shouldn't hodl. Some of you are basically bought around here and are kind of stuck. This is not financial advice. There is a 50-50 chance it could break out here and go to, say, I don't know, 85. 50-50 could go down. That's all I can provide. I'm not saying it's definitely going to go down, and AMC is a bad investment. It is a bad investment for trading, for speculation. It could go either way. It's actually had a bit of buying volume and saved itself there. But the thing is, I've actually been saying to hodl property. I've been saying to hodl stocks. Yeah. In fact, people who are with me, those that I've been doing that for a long time. For crypto, because it's so volatile, 30, like if this was a stock, if you say, if this was Amazon stock, you say, do I buy Amazon's right now at $33? It could go down to $20. Who cares? Because in a year's time, Amazon's going to be like 1,000. So it doesn't matter if I buy it at 33 or that would be the logic. I see that logic. The problem is this. First of all, Bitcoin has already had this massive run up. It probably isn't going to 1,000 like in that example. For most people are saying Bitcoin could go to $500,000, even $1 million. That's possible. I think that's possible, but it's not a given. You got to understand, if you look at macro factors, macroeconomics, it's not a given. So before we probably did think it was a given. Now we don't think that's necessarily always going to be true anymore. I'll explain. So let's say, like, people who's been saying, it could go to 300,000, like BitBoy. BitBoy, for example, that's only 10x from here. There are plenty of stocks with much stronger fundamentals that can do 10x from here. NEO, the Chinese stock, went 27x last year in 1 year alone, and it has a ton of fundamentals behind it. Why? Because China wants to get off oil. China needs electrical energy. So if a Chinese car maker like NEO can replace EVs with petrol guzzling, gas guzzling vehicles on the road, the Chinese government is going to throw their full weight behind it, and it ain't going to fail. I wish I knew this beforehand. Obviously, I didn't buy NEO. I wasn't smart enough to do it. But the point is basically, if you want to hodl, I say that's fine. Pick a good price to hodl. If I think 30 to 35 is roughly the bottom, it's just going to be going into a U-shaped bottom. Now, it doesn't matter if you buy at 35 or 30. Who cares? It's going to be at 300,000. But if I think strongly, like I just said, 90% chance it's going to 20, with an outside chance it might even break 20 and go lower, then I would not say 30 or 35, hodl anywhere in between. So that's the difference. If it gets to anywhere between 25, my buy orders at slightly below 25, and then I'll buy more and more and more as it gets lower. So those are my hodling levels. If Bitcoin actually got below 20, I would probably hodl. If it gets below 25, I would hodl some as well. At 30, that's just not my price point. But you guys, if you guys plan to hodl it for, just like Alex, if you plan to hodl it for 20 years, even 10 years, then I don't think it makes a difference to you whether it's at 30 or at 20, provided you believe it's going to $500,000, which I think possible, but not necessarily 100%.
So here's the problem with what you're saying, Pablo. You said 90%, right? 90% that it's going to 20. So if I'm going to play that game, all right, let's say I sell all my Bitcoin now, and there's a 9 in 10 chance that it goes to 20. How many 90% things will happen over the next 10, 20 years? Like, all right, it goes up to 50,000 one day, and you're saying 90% it's going to go down to 40. You should sell your Bitcoin at 50, buy back in at 40. Like one out of 10 times you're going to be wrong. And so what happens then? You're wrong. It shoots up to $80,000 instead of going down to 40. Do you get back in at 80, or do you just forget about it?
Sure. Sure. Here's the thing. Now, first of all, I never advised anybody to sell at 33, where it is right now, because plenty of people ask me, should I sell it now and get back in later? because it's already dropped 50%. It's already at 33 with a 80-90% chance of going to low 20s. I'm not even sure it's worth it, just like what Alex is saying, because it's not 100%. But I sold mine in the 40s. And I didn't buy in the 50s or 60s. I didn't chase it. So therefore, I'm comfortable. And I went short in the 40s. So I'm comfortable holding it here, and I'm holding out here, and I'm comfortable waiting for a drop into the 20s should it happen. Basically, it's if you're thinking of selling at 32, 33, I don't know about that, because like what Alex is saying, how much difference is that between, say, buying at 25 and if you're only 90% sure, considering in the future it could go to 300,000. So that's not what I'm advising at all. And you will not be able to find one video or one comment where I said that, even though plenty of people ask me, should I sell now and buy it back later? Because it's not 100%. But however, for the people who never bought at 40, 50, 60, or who went short, sold everything and went short like me at 40 something, then it makes sense to hold out just that little bit longer. And to answer your second part of your question, what if it goes to 80? What if Bitcoin goes to 80? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Was I
Then
like that? That's crazy. I didn't realize I was that dramatic, but okay.
it would just have done what, 150% gain. So from 30, it would be like 167%. That would be 167% gain. 165% gain if Bitcoin was to go to like 82,000, which is what, like, you couldn't do that. You telling me you couldn't do that on Neo, BYD, Futu, Baidu, all those Chinese stocks. Why do I mention the Chinese stocks? Because right now they're at a huge discount right now. This is the SP 500. The blue line is the Chinese internet. Right now, I've been saying to everyone, like, if you want to buy a bargain, right, you could probably buy this in a hodl. That's the Chinese internet stocks. What do you call it? The ETF, right? Now, it's actually underperformed because of, China government cracking down on their own Uber. They had their own Uber. It's called Didi, and they cracked down on it. Took the app off all the app stores, and so it's caused a crash in the entire Chinese internet stocks, right? Like, okay, so here's the difference. Is this something you can hodl? I'm not saying 20 years, but even 5 to 10 years. Sure. One is China. Do we think China is going to grow in the next 10 or 20 years? More than Bitcoin or less than Bitcoin? Two, do we think Chinese internet companies like Alibaba, like Bilibili, do we think that's going to grow? Do we have fundamentals and actual, stock reports to look at? Basically, do we have SEC filings, earnings filings? Do we have accountants, certified CPAs looking at their basically EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxation and depreciation? Do we have sales reports? Do we have a product that we can physically use every day? I would say yes to all of that. So if something like this goes onto flash discount, then yeah, that's a good idea. I'm not saying buy right now. I'm still holding out. I'm still waiting. But when it gets down, you can start accumulating dollar cost average on the way down. But that's something you could hodl for at least 5 to 10 years. Bitcoin, yeah, you can probably hodl for 20 years. But I'm saying it's not 100%. This is probably a better hodl than Bitcoin in the long term. If you think about if you're macros and fundamentals.
You're in where, like, Australia right now, or where are you?
Yeah,
Australia.
I mean,
okay. So maybe you could shed some light into this. So I mean, I have stocks. I mean, I've had Neo. I bought some Neo options. Those did well. Something that prevented me from holding on to those, they expire in January of 2023. So I could have held on to that, but I didn't. There are some crackdowns. What would you say to people in the United States about, like, there's certain stocks that perhaps we're not going to be able to buy? I mean, I understand that's just with those stocks. Like, there's certain Chinese stocks, companies that in the coming years we may not even be able to buy those, like Neo. I've heard that from Neo.
Oh, you mean it's going to get delisted?
Yeah.
Okay. I looked into that. Basically, if there's a delisting, what they would do is they would run to Hong Kong and basically list themselves on Hong Kong. Or if because the U.S. government, the SEC is giving them 3 years. It's an organization. It's a United States branch they call it Peekaboo. It's like PBOCAB, Peekaboo. Like basically that looks at foreign companies' financial and accounting records. And when that happens, basically they've given them Chinese companies 3 years to comply. So those Chinese companies have 3 years to produce their financial reports to comply with U.S. standards. And when it's like an options pricing, when we tick down close to the last year, last 6 months, if it doesn't look like they're able to comply, what they will do is they will list on Hong Kong simultaneously, or even the Canadian exchange. And what you've got with NEO, I'm not advising anyone to buy NEO. I think it's probably overpriced, but I'm saying the internet stocks have crashed, so that's probably a good time to buy. Is this the ADRs that you buy, American deposit receipts? They are one-to-one exchangeable when they list on another exchange outside of China, such as Canada or Hong Kong. So in 2.5, 3 years' time, should that happen, something like Alibaba would have already listed on Hong Kong, and basically you could just, the share price would take a hit, like say 8%, maybe 10%, but that's slowly priced in. And then you could just sell it on the Hong Kong exchange, or even just hodl it and just sell it anytime you want on the Hong Kong exchange or the Canadian exchange. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is this. Previously, we thought Bitcoin was invincible and Bitcoin was going to $1 million. How you believed it? I mean,
I still people in
people in my chat all believed it. I believed it. I thought it was 100%. Now I think that is no longer 100%. I do think Bitcoin is quite possible for Bitcoin to go to $1 million in say 20 years' time. Quite possible, but is it 100% anymore? I don't think so. It's probably more like, I'd hate to put a percentage on it, but I'd just say it's no longer 100%. Well, I like to hear your view on it, because what's happened from a macro fundamental point of view is that over the last summer, what we've seen is this, that with the environmental story, we've seen corporate adoption become problematic. We've seen corporations basically go, oh, gee, I don't know about that. And I'm not saying that they won't come back and adopt it. I think they will. But by the time they come back, why don't they adopt Ethereum or maybe even Cardano, or maybe even Solana, or one of those? Like, we're talking in 3 years' time, by the time Bitcoin cleans itself up to be completely energy neutral, by that time, Ethereum might be Ethereum 2.0 might be this huge new, infrastructure ecosystem that is what was promised of DeFi. The flipping might happen, and buying Bitcoin might be like, hodling Bitcoin might be similar to hodling General Electric, GE, which has performed well, but not as well as, say, an Apple. So, and I'll say one more thing. Which is why I didn't think Bitcoin could go down below 20. I think it could go into mid to lower 20. Previously, I thought there's no way it could go below the previous cycle top. But like I said before, Bitcoin was bouncing around 6,000 when it broke, went 50% lower, which was 3,000. If this theory proves to be correct, right now it's bouncing around, Bitcoin's bouncing around the 30,000 mark. If it was to break, it would go to the 15,000 mark. If it was to go to the 15,000 mark, in theory, then it would go below 20,000, which would have been the historical high. And that shouldn't happen. But the fact that if that did happen, that would be a signal to me that Bitcoin is not for a 20-year hodl, where it probably can still hodl for 20 years, but it won't be the invincible thing that we thought would go to, definitely 100% go to $1 million like we thought before. That would be one of the things that would break that mirage for me. I just want to show everyone that this is what Bitcoin did back in 2018, 2017, we all saw the triangle, but that was the high. That price was 20,000, right? That's never been broken before. Basically, anytime Bitcoin made its previous cycle high, it's never been broken before. This time, I still don't think it's going to get broken, but there's a 10% chance. A crypto weatherman saying it's going to 14,000. I think it's when it gets to 20,000, 23,000, I'll reevaluate. I won't pretend I've got a crystal ball that I can call 3 months ahead. But once we get there, once we're over one hill, it's a lot easier to see what the next hill is going to be. If it gets there, I can probably tell with a lot more clarity. But what I'm saying is, if it does break 20,000, then that whole theory of Bitcoin definitely and must go to $1 million or $500,000 is out the window, and we need to reevaluate, because it means that this whole idea of corporate adoption, this whole idea of Bitcoin's always going to be better than Ethereum and any other coin, has been challenged. And because one of the central tenets of the stock to flow model and the always staying above his previous cycle high is possibly going to be broken in the next 3 to 12.
Could be the next month. So
if it does happen, I'm saying on the outside chance, I'm saying there's a small probability. Probability. If it does, would that change your mind about a 20-year hodl?
No, I don't think so yet. And the reason why, so I mean, everything you're saying about the possible flipping with Ethereum, what does that do to Bitcoin? That is within the realm of possibility. I certainly believe that. I am curious about what happens over the next 4 years with again with the accumulation of Bitcoin in particular. So, I mean, one thing that I've been clear about based off of analytics, off Glassnode analysis, my favorite thing in the world is that there's 13% of the 18.5 million Bitcoin in circulation right now. There is 13% available on exchanges. That percent is going down, and it seems like it's going to continue to go down. And there could be a day 4 years from now, especially after the next halving, when literally you won't be able to go to coinbase.com or somewhere like that and actually buy Bitcoin. And so what happens? I mean, simple laws of supply and demand. What happens when that happens? When that is a thing that's going to happen. And I do think, based off of some numbers that I've seen, that it's going to happen around the time of the next halving. So even if, let's say, Ethereum flips Bitcoin in that time, I'm just curious to know what happens then. If the price, for some crazy reason, go ahead.
The thing is, I understand what you're saying. If the flipping does happen, like I said before, it's going to be like holding GE stocks. GE's going up a lot. I mean, if you held General Electric for 20, well, I wouldn't say 20 years, but say because stocks, because Bitcoin it moves much faster than stocks. So if you held GE for a long time, you hodl for a long time, it's actually done well. It's actually outperformed a lot of things. But however, it's not as good as hodling Amazon, obviously. And right now, so basically, look, this is going to be important. I mean, you avoided this question before, but what I'm really trying to get at is, if, say, Bitcoin goes on a flash discount into the mid to low 20s, which I think it'll happen. If or when that happens, and you want to buy something, you guys, commenting here, you want to buy something to hodl for the next 5, 10, or 20 years, what would your portfolio look like? Which would be the major holding, Bitcoin or Ethereum? And how would your portfolio look like if you got that chance?
So, I mean, listen, I already told you I have more Ethereum than I do Bitcoin. So, I'm not being rigid with my stance. I mean, the thing that I've been adding or encouraging people to do is not only add Bitcoin. I'm not one of those Bitcoin maximalists like Max Kaiser or Michael Saylor. I'm not one of those. And so here's what's going to happen if Ethereum flips Bitcoin, is that Ethereum, okay, let's say Bitcoin becomes a General Electric, I'll still hold it. I'll be fine with my returns on that. and my Ethereum position will just continue to grow more and more over the years. And so, I mean, I own something like 30 different cryptocurrencies right now, and some of those,
But
many of those will
the,
outperform
the,
Bitcoin. Go
the
ahead.
majority of your the majority of your holdings are basically in about three or four, I guess.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
So you said Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I think you said HBAR, right?
HBAR is a long-term hold, but I mean that's not one that I have a lot of.
What would be the top four that you'd recommend for our audience? Top four
Um,
or five?
Chainlink for sure. Um, so what else? Solana and I have Quant on my radar. It's not one I have like $500 worth of Quant. I just started getting into that. So
What about XRP?
XRP. I don't know. I mean, I have a decent amount of XRP. It's just one of those
Yeah.
things. It's like, the XRP army, they're insane. Like in like for me to even say that, to call them out, like if there's any one cryptocurrency that I'm like, you guys are a cult, I would say XRP is probably number one. And so it makes it a little bit more difficult when they're saying that XRP is going to $10,000, when there's how much XRP is there in existence. I mean, it's like it's an insane amount. It's over a billion. Like that just seems totally beyond the realm of reality to me, to the point where it's like, all right, I have some, and if you're right, awesome, I'll be celebrating with you. But it's like, and then on the other side, there's tons of people saying XRP is ridiculous and that it's a scam and all this stuff. And so I kind of just like, all right, I'm going to hold it, and whoever's right, I'm not going to, I'll celebrate if the XRP army's right. And if it's not, I'm not going to cry too much. But what do you think of XRP?
The my thinking is similar to yours in that I'd like to hold a little. I wouldn't like to bet the farm on it.
Yeah.
Basically, here's the thing: like, their technology has already proven to work. This is what I've been talking about. Like, if you have to follow XRP and really make up your mind, you need a degree in computer science and in finance, because it's about part of it. The XRP coin, as opposed to what different from the Ripple of the company, is that it facilitates financial transactions faster and more efficiently than the SWIFT system. And basically, once they accomplish that, they think the XRP coin or Ripple, the company, has other cryptocurrencies that can do even more wonderful things. That's two fields. That's two very specialized fields you need to get into, and also you need to ask: does the government of United States, England, Russia, and China have a say over how SWIFT works? On top of that, people also need some sort of legal background to look into what's happening with this legal battle with the SEC. How's that going to affect everything else? So the thing is, it's a lot of research for a lot of new things to learn. It's not like, do I think I want to buy Coca-Cola, or do I think Gillette or Home Depot? If you own a house and you have 5 kids, you've probably put up fixed a pipe yourself before, or cleaned the roof gutter and bought ladders before, and painted whitewashed walls before. So you know what Home Depot is about. You use it. You're more of an expert on Home Depot than the CEOs at Home Depot. You know why? Because they don't see what's wrong with Home Depot. You go in there and you get crappy service. You're like,
Sure.
wait, that's not right. Why should I, they should have fixed this up a long time ago. 6 months later, you go into Home Depot, it's still not fixed. You're like, this management is problematic. Next time you walk in McDonald's or Home Depot, and people greet you friendly, and they're like, oh, that problem's now gone. That problem is now fixed. Home Depot, its management is working. So for me, when I look at XRP, I've read the 2 hours of internet, research and all this and all that. But you really need about 3 degrees, and even then, it's hard to predict where it's going to go. So basically, for me, I would like to keep a small moon bag once it gets cheap enough. I wouldn't like to say bet the farm on it and a hodl for 10 years and think he's going to go to even $300.
Yeah.
or even $30. I mean, it's one of those, but it's convincing enough people to be passionate about it. In that case, like you said, it's probably worth putting a few $100s
Sure.
or two in. Depends on what your financial situation is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I talk about percentages, not necessarily dollar amounts. So I have, I probably have too much XRP. It's probably like 10% of my portfolio, my crypto portfolio. So it is what it is.
I've heard a theory that if you can buy, if you buy $2,000 worth of XRP, then as it stands right now, you will be in the top 10% of hodlers or holders, coin holders. $2,000 or more gets you in the top 10%, or is it top 5%? It's one of those stats, and if they go if that means you can run a centralized one of those centralized nodes that they have. It's but I do remember $2,000 is some sort of cutoff mark, but I'm not recommending any of you to do that unless you're a multimillionaire. Then yeah, $2,000 doesn't mean anything to you. Then maybe.
Yeah.
But look, the point is basically, I wish there was a clear cut answer on what to buy once we, or if we do drop into the 20s. If we do get below 25, above 20, whatever it is, basically, if there was a more affirmative answer to say, look, Ethereum is going to perform so much better. Oh no, Solana is going to take over. Cardano is going to be the ETH killer. Let's just buy that. I wish there was a answer as simple as that. Right now, it's kind of like Tesla, Neo, BYD, XPen, and including the bunch of old traditional car makers who are going EV right now. So basically, like, which one would you pick? I wish the answer is simple as if Tesla crashes tomorrow below 300, buy it and hodl for 10 years. I don't even think you could say that for Tesla. It's in a field. The reason why is this: Tesla's got the same problem. The EV's got the same problem as cryptocurrencies. It's in a highly competitive field right now where there are multiple EV makers that are all vying for the top spot. Just like what I could say for Tesla, XPen, Neo, BYD, and all these companies, I could say the same thing for Bitcoin. Not really, but Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, and its competitors. So basically, in that case, who's going to be the eventual winner? We don't know that. And also it's in a new field of technology which is evolving so quickly that you're going to have top experts really disagree with each other. I mean, people who are like basically who work at Facebook and Google on their tech teams, who run those tech teams, are going to disagree with each other. So that's part of the problem.
I'm with you on that. And so that's why, I mean, for long-term holds, it's like I'm looking at that and I'm considering, okay, Ethereum has several competitors, but Ethereum also has with what Ethereum is, they already have a place that I believe is pretty solidified. So maybe something like Solana with their faster transaction speeds will gain some of that, but still never overtake Ethereum. So things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm confident. I have a pretty heavy amount of confidence in both of those. Something like a Solana or Polkadot or a Cardano, I'm not entirely sure that all three of those are going to exist or going to be strong at least 10 years from now or 20 years from now.
How confident are you ETH 2.0 is going to work security wise? Because they always talk about the what they call the trilemma: scalability, what is it? Security and efficiency. That's the trilemma, right? Basically, I can see them solving the other two. Problem is security, and he said it himself. He said it himself that Vitalik said it himself that basically, yeah, we think we have centralized nodes, and we try to spread it out as much as possible. But what really is going to happen is Come on, the heads of those miners, those mining nodes, are basically probably in one or two chat groups. If they ever got together and if they just said in the chat group, hey, we should all do this together, they'd have easily more than 51% of the hash rate. They could do that anytime. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Vitalik said we should all grab a mobile phone and each one of us should run the Ethereum node from our mobile phones. I don't know if he's calculated how much basically how much power or data usage that would be for your mobile phone, but he's advising that. It just seems like an unrealistic solution. I realize how dominant Ethereum is right now. I realize how bright its future looks, but without being a computer science genius and a political genius, I also see the problems, issues challenging Ethereum. I don't know which one's going to be the Ethereum killer. Is it going to be Ethereum 2.0, or is it going to be Cardano, or is it going to be Solana, or is it going to be HBAR? I'm just saying, in all honesty to you guys, I actually don't know the answer. Yes, that ICP as well, or even Mina. That's come and went, and what is the answer? I do think it's a lot more complicated.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I think we do take different stances. I heard you on one of your lives talking about, somebody asked you how many cryptos you think are going to exist, 10, 20 years from now? And
yeah,
your number was surprisingly low, at least in my opinion. I mean, I think there's room for some of these to coexist. Not all of them, certainly, but I mean, what was your percent? Like 5%?
less. I would say
Less than
less.
5, yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like, are you looking at the same numbers as me? Like, I mean, I'm talking about. Do you know how many coins are there out there right now?
Oh yeah, I mean, thousands.
The count was 8,000. Was 8,000 coins about 2 months ago. Now with all the meme coins launching, it's probably 10,000. Let's say 10,000. If I said 5% or less, we're talking about 500 coins or less of the present day batch of coins. I'm not talking about the future. In the future, I think blockchain and crypto blockchain should succeed. It's 99% blockchain will become a major technology and change our lives. It's about 90%, I say 90%, that cryptocurrency will succeed and change our lives. DeFi should succeed, 85, 90% chance. But the thing is this, I'm not saying in that future, there are only going to be 500 coins. I'm saying of all the 10,000 coins we have right now, the Shiba Inu, the Kisha Inu, Elon sperm, and the Elon gate, and the those ones, remember there's 10,000 coins there. Less than 5%, I would say like 2% will survive. Why? You just have to look at the dot-com bubble that happened in the year 2000. How many of those companies survived? There was one major competitor to Amazon. I don't remember if you remember what it was called. It was called pets.com. And you could either, back then, this was kind of like buying between Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's kind of like, do I buy pets.com or do I buy Amazon? What do I do? And literally, you have Wall Street split on which one's better. It basically, nobody could tell. And pets.com, nobody's ever heard of it again. Amazon's Amazon. I just want to remind people of this. I want to ask you guys, when did Netflix register, list on Nasdaq? Can somebody give me an answer? Remember, the crash was in the year 2000. When did Netflix list on the Nasdaq? You can tell me the answer as well if you know the answer. No, Netflix.
Oh, 6 or 7.
End of 02, early 03.
Oh wow.
So it actually missed. If right now we're in the, many people, including me, have compared the whole thing to the dot-com bubble, which is like this, where 95%, 98%, I would say, of the coins don't survive. Netflix is not even here yet, guys. Netflix is not even here yet. Let me ask you guys, when did Facebook list on the Nasdaq exchange?
2012.
I was going to say 2013, but it's probably end of 2012. So essentially, yeah, that's right. What was the website that was the dominant social networking website before Facebook? Are you guys? You should know this. You're 39.
Yeah.
I'm in my late 30s. What was it called?
MySpace. Okay.
MySpace.
Yeah.
So, and look, people talk about institutional investment. Do you remember who actually paid close to $1 billion for MySpace? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Rupert Murdoch,
All right.
Fox News Corp paid $670 million in 2001 money. In 2001 money, that's like $1.7 billion today. It's probably more than that if you count how much the Fed has been printing. The point of what I'm trying to make is that the reason why I'm not saying there's going to be 500 cryptos in the future. I think in the chance that cryptos do survive, which is 90% of the case of the probability, and I think it's 99% that blockchain will survive. In that future, there will be many, many more than 500 cryptos. But the current batch we have, less than 2% are going to survive, especially the Shiba Inus and the Kisha Inus.
So
they might prove me wrong.
No, I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, I'm not even really thinking about the meme coins. I know other people have more derogatory statements for that. I mean, what I really pay attention to is like top 100 coins, and I'm not even saying like, that's all we need to pay attention to. But I just, you ever been to coin360.com? It's like I'm thinking when I ask a question like that, I'm thinking like all of I can show you my screen. I'll do a Pablo real quick. Like the ones that I can see are the ones I really care about. Coin360.com, it's a pretty cool website. Definitely check it out. So it's a heat map of.
Is that the market cap? What you've just shown us is that the market cap of all coins right now.
It's their dominance. What's that?
Market cap.
So I mean, it shows Bitcoin's dominance. But what?
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
market.
If you were to look at that website, there's a ton of cryptos, especially on the Ethereum platform, Ethereum network, that like they're just little specks in there. And so when I think about those, it's just not even on my radar as like cryptos that are going to exist one day. I mean, maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm thinking that totally with you. I mean, if you're counting all these random coins that are created on PancakeSwap, on the Binance Smart Chain, there's just a whole bunch of garbage. I'm sure you get messages. I mean, you have promoted coins. I hope that your account stays safe with things that you've promoted with these new TikTok crackdowns on things. But just the ones that actually have functions, I do believe that. I mean, we're probably saying the same thing, that a fair amount of those will survive. And when I say even a fair amount, I'm not talking about half. I don't think more than half of them will. But I don't know, like of the top 100.
Well, the statement I made wasn't that 95% of the top 100 would disappear.
Exactly.
It was the of all coins, and of the top 100, I still think something like 70 or even 80% would disappear, or get to a stage where they're still around, but it's kind of like no one really cares. Even the thing is in this field of network adoption, one of the reasons why Bitcoin and Ethereum have shot up, exponentially, they can move exponentially because they have this thing called network adoption. They're not producing traditional products or services like Home Depot, for example. Like you said, they're not producing a Home Depot where if, say, Home Depot works in one city, in, say, Chicago, and then they go, okay, we're now going to expand to 10 different cities and 20 different cities. That means 20 times our cost, almost 20 times our cost. And physically, 20 managers training 20 times more staff and dealing with the bureaucracy and hiring more lawyers and more PR people and more HR people and doing that over the it's just that's traditional business. When it comes to Facebook, basically they build one server, they build this one platform, and it can scale, right? Which Bitcoin can't do right now, which Ethereum's trying to do right now, which Solana can do right now, which Cardano is trying to do right now. Once it scales, it's kind of like, okay, well, I don't care if 10,000 people use it or 10 million people use it. It's going to be the same thing. My output is going to be only not increase exponentially, but increase only like 30, 40%, maybe even double. That's all. When that happens, basically, a different set of laws or rules come in. They call it winner takes all or winner takes most. See, the problem with Home Depot is we have Home Depot. We don't have Home Depot where we live. See, where we live in Australia, we have a company that's a copycat Home Depot. They're called Bunnings Warehouse. It's kind of the same thing. Why? Because Home Depot hasn't been able to raise billions and billions of dollars to expand into Australia, China, Saudi Arabia, everywhere, because doesn't have something they call network adoption. It's not like Facebook. It can go like wildfire like that. Bitcoin, same thing. Basically, if I hear about you and I hear Alex putting a lot of his savings into Bitcoin, he's done a lot of research. Gee, he must be right. I should at least put some of my savings in Bitcoin. I should tell my friends about it. Then boom, it spreads like wildfire. The problem with that's the double-edged sword. The good thing about that is it'll go through the roof really quickly. The bad thing about that is winner takes all. We've seen Google just absolutely dominate. Facebook, yeah, once it dominates, start buying up all the other smaller platforms. You don't really. It's not like in Australia we have Bunnings Warehouse. In America, you have Home Depot. No, in Australia, we just have Facebook. We don't have our own social network inside. And Facebook would have taken China as well until the government over there says we're going to ban it because American company, they can't control it. So the thing is, it's really, really important. Like, who's the largest competitor to Amazon? Tell me, who's the largest competitor to Amazon?
Alibaba? I mean,
exactly. That's what I said. If I said Facebook, but just think rather than Amazon, if the Chinese government didn't ban Amazon, it would be basically the number one shopping platform in China. Every Chinese citizen would use it. Every Chinese citizen's data, birth date, sex, gender, binary or non-binary, whatever information would be on there. Their shopping habits, including all their bureaucrats, all their government people, all their military people. So China said, we're going to ban this. Here's the thing. It's winner takes all. If not, it's winner takes most. Like, we all use Google. Some of you who are concerned with privacy, what do you use? What do you use if you're concerned with privacy? What search engine do you use?
I don't know. Brave? No idea.
I'm no a computer whiz, but I've heard of DuckDuckGo, which doesn't record your privacy details. So, which says to me something like Monero might actually work. Monero actually might compete with Bitcoin, Ethereum, because there are always going to be criminals who want to use Monero or tax dodgers. But other than that, like if Ethereum 2.0 takes over, like what you've been saying, then Solana, even Matic, and Cardano really would be reduced to 3% market share. That's the way this whole network thing works. I mean, but I doubt that's going to happen so easily because Ethereum 2.0, one example I've heard people talk about Ethereum 2.0, people who really understand the tech, is they said this. They said, if you have an airplane and you're the pilot, Vitalik Buterin is flying this airplane, it's got holes in it, right? The aerodynamics isn't working. You can only put like 5 people on this airplane rather than 500. And you're trying to fix it whilst in mid-flight to scale from 5 people to 500 people. What are the odds you can fix up the aerodynamicy of the wings? Like, detach the wings. And usually what they do at Google and Facebook, if they have to fix something like this, is they shut it down for 3 months, 6 months.
I can't hear you. All right. Can anyone on my live stream hear me? Because I can't hear Pablo
Yeah,
anymore.
sorry.
Okay.
No, because I got this phone call interruption. Don't worry, it's a scam call. So the point is basically what I'm thinking is I'm not that confident as you guys that Ethereum 2.0 is going to work the way it says it will. It'll work in terms of scale, I think so. It'll
Sure.
work in terms of efficiency, I think so. But security, you have once it goes from decentralized to centralized, basically they control it. And those Ethereum miners, you should know this. They did a protest over EIP
Yeah.
1559,
Yeah.
and they demonstrated how much power they have. And that was when it was decentralized. Once you go centralized, what are you going to do? Imagine not even the entire world. Imagine if 10-20% of the world's financial transactions are ran on the Ethereum network. So, see, this is the thing that people don't talk about.
Okay.
But look, I don't have an answer either. I'm not here to say, look, Ethereum invest in Solana is good, or Cardano is good. So someone just asked about NeFi. NeFi, what's your take on NeFi?
I haven't looked into it since I saw one of your videos about it, and so I really haven't looked into it since you made that video. So
Well,
um, hey, I got
NeFi
about
is
5 minutes.
basically.
Pablo, I got about 5 minutes. Just want to let you know that it's dinner time here where I am. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
NeFi is basically one of those great coins that is trying to create DeFi solutions on the Ethereum network. It's lightning fast. It's basically trying to compete with Uniswap. It's lightning fast. It has what they call finality, which means how if you're trying to swap something on Uniswap, it takes like 20 minutes and you don't know the exact price. It's always calculating sometimes. Whereas on NeFi, it'll just tell you the price like that. And also the other advantage it has is basically quite a lot of times you need Ethereum and you need the other coin if you're going to do the transaction on Uniswap. Whereas when it comes to NeFi, if you're on the NeFi platform, all you need is NeFi. That's all you need. The thing is, it has all those advantages. It's on the Ethereum network. It's, if not the best, at least one of the best, if not the best, when it comes to what it does. Will it displace Uniswap? If we're in a bull market, this coin should perform very well. Basically, all these coins haven't performed all that well because no coin is performing well because of the I don't want to call it a bear market. See, that's why I've never used the word bear market. I would just say downtrending market, because I still think that it is going up later in the year. And so yeah, like Alex said, if you're not worried, if you think Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million in 10 to 20 years time, then any time now is a good time to hodl. And people can play this video back in 10 years time and say what a fool Pablo was for not buying Bitcoin at 33. But what I'm saying is, it's not 100%. And if you think it's going to go to $300,000, which is the 10x move, there are a lot of stocks that can do that as well. You can probably wait for a better price. Like I'm saying hodl. I'm not saying trade. I'm saying hodl. But if you're going to hodl, like Warren Buffett, he buys it with a margin of error. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I really don't have anything else to say that I haven't already said when it comes to why, I'm going to hold on, and, so, you know,
Okay. Like may I ask Alex,
yeah,
do you have five with the same woman you've been married to, or is it over different marriages?
same woman. Yeah. 13
Okay.
years. So
Wow. I'm truly happy for you. I think you're blessed.
thank you.
I've just got one kid now, and trying to work my way towards you. So the thing is, but I do say that you may not want to hear this, but what I would say is, if property prices crash again in the United States, even a 10%, 15%
Yeah.
crash, find a place that doesn't have to be where you live. In fact, I would look all over the United States, maybe even Canada. Find some place where it has high yield or high growth potential, whatever you think it is. Do your research. It ain't as difficult to predict as where Bitcoin is going, because the United States population is increasing, and certain cities like Austin, Texas, they're just going to have population increases, like Florida. Buy a property there and hodl that. I think that is a 20-year strategy. I'm not saying that your Bitcoin strategy is wrong. I still think it's a good strategy. It's particularly you bought it at below 20. That's a very good price. But if it was me and I have to put the bulk of my family savings, or even 20% of my family savings, and for you guys as well, in something, I would say property. And I hope that helps.
No, I'm totally with you on that. That is my intention. Dinner. My wife's telling me dinner's ready. That is my intention. I'm just, like, I mean, what you said. I have actually been using the words bear market in saying, specifying though that we are in a bear market, but not the bear market. In other words, that we're not packing our bags waiting until the next halving in 2024. So whatever wording you want to use it. I mean, the fact that we're under the 200-day moving average, the 21 weekly EMA, all that stuff. I would say that we're in a bear moment at least. So there is a sense of riding a wave. If Bitcoin goes to six figures in late 2021 or 2022, and with my intention of, let's say I'm about 20% in Bitcoin, that's probably where I am. That I won't sell any of my Bitcoin, but my alts that kind of go skyrocketing with it and probably over the short term outperform Bitcoin. The intention is to completely take profits in that and then put it somewhere else, whether that's stable coins that get X amount percent returns, or into real estate, things like that. So I'm totally with you on that. There's actually, I would say, a lot that we're agreed on. I know you did most of the talking through this, and I really enjoyed our time together. I will say that people are saying that, on your chat that I'm being defensive or anything. I enjoy a good banter, a good back and forth, and so I've been wanting to go live with you for a while. And so the one thing that I would say also to most people as well is I'm not really not buying anything right now. As far as adding to my positions, I mean, you said something like that. Not really buying much of anything. If Bitcoin, when those 2 hours in June, when Bitcoin went under $30,000, I was an eager buyer at that moment. But the thing that I've been saying to people who've been on my streams is between 30 and 42,000 or so. I'm not I'm not really not buying much. I'm just adding here and there little by little. But under 30,000, if you're right, it goes to 20,000. I will be an eager buyer of some altcoins. If it goes above 42,000 and this gets back into bull market territory, I will also be an eager buyer. So plenty that we agree on as well. But yeah, got to run. Was there
Okay.
one thing I was going to say?
No, just saying. I enjoyed our talk as well, Alex. It's
Yeah.
always good. It's always good to hear a different opinion because, um, I mean, that's look. I accept that I can be wrong. Of course, I don't necessarily say that I'm definitely right. So it's always good to hear a different opinion. What you said about Glassnode, that's actually how should I say? It's actually an effective argument as well. It's just that I disagree,
Sure.
and I hope we presented both to people who are watching today, and they can make up their own mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So have a good one, man.
Thank you for your time, Alex.
All right.